Bar 2023 Syllabus PDF. Syllabus for the 2023 Bar Examinations Political Law and Public International Law, 15%. Note: all bar candidates should be guided that only laws, rules, issuances, and jurisprudence pertinent to the topics in this syllabus as of June 30, 2022 are examinable materials within the coverage of the 2023 bar examinations. Part 1 Political Law. Powers and Structures of Government. I Preliminary Concepts. A Nature of a Constitution. 1. Parts 2. Manner of Interpretation. Self-executing and non-executing character. 3. Process of Change, Amendments and Revisions. B. The Philippines as a State. 1. Elements: people, territory, government, and capacity to enter into relations with other states. 2. Distinction between internal and external self-determination. C. Fundamental powers of the state. 1. Police power. 2. Eminent domain. 3. Taxation. A. Constitutional exemption principles. D. Relevance of the Declaration of Principles and state policies. E. Dynamics among the branches of government. 1. Separation of powers. 2. System of checks and balances. 3. Delegation of powers. F. State immunity. 1. Basis. 2. Exceptions. GT national territory. 1. Scope: terrestrial, aerial, and fluvial domains. 2. Archipelagic doctrine. 2. Legislative department. A. Nature of legislative power. 1. Derivative and delegated power. 2. Plenary character. 3. Limitations. A. Substantive, Bill of Rights. Page 1 of 10. B. Procedural manner of passage and form of bills. 4. Lawmaking distinguished from law execution. A. Filling up details. B. Ascertainment of facts. 5. Exceptions to non-delegability. A. Local governments. B. Presidential power in times of war and national emergency, including martial law and in a revolutionary context. C. Fixing tariff rates, quotas, and other duties. 6. Legislative power of the people through initiative and referendum. B. Bicameral Congress. 1. Senate. 2. House of Representatives. A. District representatives and mechanics of apportionment. B. Party list system. C. Legislative privileges, disclosure of financial and business affairs, prohibitions, inhibitions, and disqualifications. D. Quorum and voting majorities. E. Discipline of members. F. Process of lawmaking. 1. Function of the Bicameral Conference Committee. 2. Limitations on legislative power. A. Limitations on revenue, appropriations, and tariff. B. Presidential veto and congressional override. G. Rules and appropriation under alignment. H. Electoral tribunals and commission on appointments. 1. Composition. 2. Powers and jurisdiction. I. Powers of Congress. 1. Legislative inquiries and the oversight functions. 2. Non-legislative. A. Informing function. B. Power of impeachment. 3. Executive department. A. Nature of executive power. 1. In relation to the implementation of laws including delegated powers. 2. Express or implied including the faithful execution of laws and residual powers. B. Concept of presidential immunity. 1. Conduct covered. 2. Waiver and exceptions. C. Concept of executive privilege. 1. Types. Page 2 of 10. 2. Who may invoke. D. Qualifications, election, term of the president and vice president, and rules on succession. E. Other privileges, inhibitions, and disqualifications. F. Powers of the President. 1. Executive and administrative powers. 2. Power of appointment. A. Process of confirmation by the Commission. B. By past appointments and their effects. C. Appointments by an act ng precedent. D. Scope of midnight appointments. E. Recess of ad interim appointments. F. Power of removal. 3. Power of control and supervision. A. Doctrine of qualified political agency. B. Executive departments and offices. C. Local government units. 4. Emergency powers. 5. Commander-in-chief powers. A. Calling out powers. B. Declaration of martial law and the suspension of the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus including extension of period. 6. Pardoning powers. A. Scope and limitations. B. Forms of executive clemency. 7. Foreign relations powers. A. In general. B. To contract or guarantee foreign loans. C. Entry into treaties or international agreements. 8. Powers relative to appropriation measures. 9. Veto powers. 4. Judicial department. A. Concept of judicial power. B. Judicial review. 1. Requisites. 2. Political questions doctrine. 3. Moot questions. 4. Operative fact doctrine. C. Judicial independence and fiscal autonomy. D. Appointments to the judiciary. 1. Qualifications of members. 2. Judicial and Bar Council. A. Composition. B. Powers. E. The Supreme Court. Page 3 of 10. 1. Composition, powers, and functions. 2. En banc and division cases. 3. Administrative supervision over lower courts. 4. Original and appellate jurisdiction. V. Constitutional Commissions. COMELEC, COA, CSC. A. Constitutional safeguards to ensure independence. A. Of commissions. B. Common provisions. C. Powers, functions, and J. Jurisdiction. D. Capital C O M P O S I T I O N A N D Q U A L I F I C A T I O N S O F. E. Prohibited offices and interests. F. Judicial review of final orders, resolutions, and decisions. 1. Rendered in the exercise of quasi-judicial functions. 2. Rendered in the exercise of administrative functions. The citizen in relation to the state. I. Citizenship. A. Who are Filipinos. B. Modes of acquiring citizenship. C. Loss and reacquisition of Philippine citizenship. D. Dual citizenship and dual allegiance. E. Foundlings. 1. Foundling Recognition and Protection Act, RA 11767. 2. Bill of Rights. A. Private acts and the Bill of Rights. B. Due process. 1. Procedural and substantive. 2. Void for vagueness. 3. Judicial and administrative due process. C. Equal protection. 1. Requisites for valid classification. 2. Standards of judicial review. A. Rational basis test. B. Strict scrutiny test. C. Intermediate scrutiny test. D. Arrests, searches, and seizures. 1. Requisites of a valid warrant. A. Arrest warrant. B. Search warrant. 2. Warrantless arrests and detention. 3. Warrantless searches. 4. Administrative arrests. 5. Exclusionary rule. E. Privacy of communications and correspondence. Page 4 of 10. 1. Private and public communications. 2. When intrusion is allowed. 3. Exclusionary rule. F. Freedom of speech and expression. 1. Prior restraint and subsequent punishment. 2. Content-based and content-neutral regulations. 3. Facial challenges and overbreadth doctrine. 4. Tests to determine the validity of governmental regulation. 5. State regulation of different types of mass media. 6. Commercial speech. 7. Unprotected speech. G. Freedom of religion. 1. Non-establishment and free exercise clauses. 2. Benevolent neutrality and conscientious objector. 3. Tests to determine the validity of governmental regulation. A. CLAR present NGR. B. Compilingstadinterest. H. Libertae Fabodindraitatravel. 1. Scope and limitations. 2. Watch list and hold departure orders. I. Right to information. 1. Scope and limitations. J. Eminent domain. 1. Concept. 2. Public use. 3. Just compensation. 4. Expropriation by local government units. K. Right to association. 1. Scope and limitations. L. Non-impairment of contracts. 1. Scope and limitations. M. Free access to courts and adequate legal assistance. N. Custodial investigation. 1. Meaning of custodial investigation. 2. Rights of a person under custodial investigation. 3. Requisites of a valid waiver. 4. Exclusionary doctrine. A. Rights of the accused. 1. Criminal due process. 2. Bail. 3. Presumption of innocence. 4. Right to be heard. 5. Right to counsel. 6. Right to be informed of the nature and cause of accusation. 7. Right to speedy, impartial and public trial. 8. Right of confrontation. 9. Right to compulsory processes. 10. Trial in absentia. Page 5 of 10. P. Right to speedy trial and speedy disposition of cases. Q. Right against self-incrimination. 1. Scope and limitations. 2. Immunity statutes. R. Right against double jeopardy. 1. Requisites and limitations. S. Right against involuntary servitude. T. Right against excessive fines, and cruel and inhuman punishments. U. Non-imprisonment for debts. V. Ex post facto laws and bills of attainder. W. Writs of habeas corpus, calicazon, habeas data, and amparo. 3. Social justice and human rig HTSA concept of social justice. B. Economic, social, and cultural rights. C. Commission on Human Rights. 1. Powers and functions. 4. Education, science, technology, arts, culture, and sports. A. Academic freedom. National economy and patrimony. I. Regalian doctrine 2. Public trust doctrine, see Mainland Water Services, Incorporated. V. Secretary of the Dinner, GR number 200 2897 and Companion Cases, August 6, 2019, 3. Nationalist and Citizenship Requirement Provisions. 4. Exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources. V. Acquisition, ownership, and transfer of public and private lands. V. Concept of ancestral domain including ancestral lands. 7. Practice of professions. Law on public officers, administrative law, election law, and local government. I. Law on public officers. A. General principles. B. Modes of acquiring title to public office. C. Modes and kinds of appointment. D. Eligibility and qualification requirements. Page 6 of 10. E. Disabilities and inhibitions of public officers. F. Powers and duties of public officers. G. Rights of public officers. H. Liabilities of public officers. 3. Preventive suspension and back salaries. 4. Illegal dismissal, reinstatement, and back salaries. I. Immunity of public officers. J. Distinguished de facto and de jure officers. K. Termination of official relation. 1. Involuntary retirement. See Letter of Mrs. Ma Cristina Rocco Corona, M. number 200710 SC, January 12, 2021. L. The Civil Service. 1. Scope. 2. Appointments to the Civil Service. 3. Personnel actions. M. Accountability of public officers. 1. Types of accountability. A. Administrative. B. Criminal. 2. Discipline. A. Grounds. B. Jurisdiction. C. Dismissal, preventive suspension, reinstatement and back salaries. D. Condonation doctrine. 3. Impeachment. V. Quo warranto. See Letter of Mrs. Ma Cristina Rocco Corona, M. No. 200710 SC, January 12, 2021. 4. The Ombudsman and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Sections 5 to 14, Article 11 of the 1987 Constitution in relation to R.A. No. 6770, otherwise known as the Ombudsman Act of 1989. A. Functions. B. Judicial review in administrative proceedings. C. Judicial review in penal proceedings. 5. The Sandiganbayan. N. Term limits. 2. Administrative law. A. General principles. B. Administrative agencies. C. Powers of administrative agencies. 1. Quasi-legislative, rule-making, power. A. Kinds of administrative rules and regulations. B. Requisites for validity. 2. Quasi-judicial, adjudicatory, power. A. Administrative due process. B. Administrative appeal and review. C. Administrative res judicata. Page 7 of 10. 3. Fact-finding, investigative, licensing, and rate-fixing powers. D. Judicial recourse and review. 1. Doctrine of primary administrative jurisdiction. 2. Doctrine of exhaustion of administrative remedies. 3. Doctrine of finality of administrative action. 3. Election law. A. Suffrage. 1. Qualifications and disqualification of voters. 2. Registration and deactivation of voters. 3. Inclusion and exclusion proceedings. 4. Local and overseas absentee voting. 5. Detainee voting. B. Candidacy. 1. Qualifications and disqualifications of candidates. 2. Filing of certificates of candidacy. A. Effect of filing. B. Substitution and withdrawal of candidates. C. Nuisance candidates. D. Duties of the Commission on Elections, COMELEC. C. Campaign. 1. Premature campaigning. 2. Prohibited contributions. 3. Lawful and prohibited election propaganda. 4. Limitations on expenses. 5. Statement of contributions and expenses. D. Remedies and jurisdiction. 1. Petition to deny due course or cancel a certificate of candidacy. 2. Petition for disqualification. 3. Failure of election, call for special election. 4. Pre-proclamation controversy. 5. Election protest. 6. Quo warranto. E. Prosecution of election offenses. Exclude penal provisions. 4. Local government. A. Public corporations. 1. Concept, distinguished from government-owned or controlled corporations. 2. Classifications. A. Quasi-corporations. B. Municipal corporations. 1. Elements. A. COMELEC. B. Senate Electoral Tribunal, SET. C. House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal, HRET. 7. Recall. Page 8 of 10. 2. Nature and functions. 3. Requisites for creation, conversion, division, merger, or dissolution. B. Principles of local autonomy. C. Autonomous regions and their relation to the national government. D. Local government unit, LGU1. Powers. A. Police power. B. Eminent domain. C. Taxing power. D. Closure independing frauds. E. Legislative power. 1. Requisite of valid ordinance. 2. Local initiative and referendum. F. Corporate powers. G. Ultravirus Acts. 2. Liability of LDUS. 3. Settlement of boundary disputes. 4. Vacancies and succession of local officials. 5. Recall. 6. Term limits. Part 2. Public international law. I. Sources of obligations. A. Treaties. 1. Concept of jus cogens. Peremptory norms of international law. 2. Reservations, withdrawal, termination, and rebus sextantibus. B. Customary international law. 1. Elements. 2. Obligations erga omnes. C. General principles of law. D. Application of international law by domestic courts. 1. Monism. 2. Dualism. 3. Inverted monism. 4. Harmonization. 2. International legal person. A. States. 1. Elements. 2. Recognition of states and governments. B. Non-state entities. C. International organizations. D. Status of individuals and corporations. Page 9 of 10. 3. Jurisdiction. A. Basis of jurisdiction. 1. Territoriality principle. 2. Nationality principle. 3. Protective principle. 4. Passive personality principle. B. Title of territory. C. Adjacent maritime seas. 1. Territorial sea. 2. Contiguous zone. 3. Exclusive economic zone. 4. Continental shelf. D. Jurisdiction over persons and economic activity. 1. Criminal jurisdiction. A. General theory. B. Extradition. 2. Civil jurisdiction. 3. Immunity from jurisdiction. A. Sovereign immunity. B. Diplomatic and C. Consular immunity. 4. Areas not subject to jurisdiction of individual states. A. High seas. B. Deep sea. C. Outer space. International responsibility. A. Concept of imputability of internationally wrongful act or omission. B. Reparation. C. International protection of human rights including refugees and stateless persons. 1. Remedies under treaty-based mechanisms. D. International minimum standard and national treatment including expropriation of foreign-owned properties. E. Environmental harm. 1. Precautionary principle. F. International claims. Dispute resolution. A. Legality of the use of force. B. Concept of international and non-international armed conflicts. 1. The role of the International Criminal Court. C. Judicial and arbitral settlement. 1. International Court of Justice. 2. Permanent Court of Arbitration. 4. V. Nothing follows. Page 10 of 10. Syllabus for the 2023 bar examinations. Labor law and social legislation. 10%. Note: all bar candidates should be guided that only laws, rules, issuances, and jurisprudence pertinent to the topics in this syllabus as of June 30, 2022 are examinable materials within the coverage of the 2023 bar examinations. I fundamental principles and concepts. A. Legal basis. 1. 1987 Constitution. 2. Civil Code. 3. Labor Code. B. Statepolicitao Arbeidsliber. 1. Security of tenure. 2. Social justice. 3. Equal work opportunities. 4. Right to self-organization and collective bargaining. 5. Konstruktion in favor of labor. 6. Burden of proof and quantum of evidence. 2. Pre-employment. A. Capital R E C R U I T M E N T A N D P L A C E M E N T O F L O C A L. 1. Definition of recruitment and placement. 2. Regulation of recruitment and placement activities. A. Regulatory authorities. 1. Filipino Overseas Employment Administration. 2. Regulatory and visitorial powers of TE Department of Labor and Employment Secretary. B. Ban and direct hiring. C. Entities prohibited from recruiting. D. Capital S U S P E N S I O N O R C A N C E L L A T I O N O F L I C E. E. Prohibited practices. Article 34, Labor Code. 3. Illegal recruitment, Labor Code and the Migrant Workers and Overseas Employment Act of 1995, RA 8042, as amended by RA 10022. A. Elements. B. Types. C. Illegal recruitment versus Syllabus For. Liability of local recruitment adjunct Y and for IGN employer. A. Solidar liability. B. Theory of imputed knowledge 5. Termination of contract of migrant worker. B. Employment of non-resident aliens. C. Discriminatory practices 1. Age, RA 10911 or the Anti-Age Discrimination in Employment Act, page 1 of 5. 2. Gender and or marital status, RA 9710 or the Magna Carta of Women. 3. Health condition, RA 7277 or the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. 4. Solo parents. Sec. 7, RA 8972, as amended by RA 11861. 3. Employment proper. A. Management prerogative. 1. Discipline. 2. Transfer of employees. 3. Productivity standard. 4. Bonus. 5. Change of working hours. 6. Bona fide occupational qualifications. 7. Marriage between employees. OFCOMP editor employers. 8. Post-employment restrictions. B. Labor standards. 1. Conditions of employment. A. Coverage. B. Horse off work. 1. Capital N O R M A L H O U R S O F W O R K A N D H O U R S W O R K E. 2. Compressed work week. 3. Meal periods. 4. Night shift differential. 5. Overtime work. 6. Computation of additional compensation rates. Only. C. Rest periods. D. Holidays. E. Service charge. Article 96 of the Labor Code, as amended by RA 11360. F. Occupational Safety and Health Standards Law, RA 11058. 1. Covered workplaces. Sec. 3. C. 2. Duties of employers, workers and other persons. Sec. 4. 3. Workers' right to know. Sec. 5. 4. Workers' right to refuse unsafe work. Sec. 6. 5. W. Org. RSRI to personal protective equipment. PPE. Sec. 8. 2. Wages. A. Definitions. 1. Wajevs. Salary. 2. Facilities versus supplements. B. Principlet S. 1. Now org, no pay. 2. Equal pay for equal work. 3. Fair wage for fair work. A. Paget 2 of 5. 4. Non-diminution of benefits. C. Payment of wages. D. Prohibitions regarding wage. Se. Wage distortion. 1. Concept. F. Minimum wage law. G. Holiday pay. H. 13th month pay. 3. Leaves. 4. A. Service incentive leave. B. Maternity leave. C. Paternity leave. D. Sole parent leave. RA 8972, Assamand Edbira 11861. E. Leave benefits for women workers under Magna Carta of Women RA 9710, and Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children of 2004, RA 9262. F. Compassionate leaves. Special groups of employees. A. Women. 1. Discrimination. 2. Stipulation against marriage. 3. Prohibited acts. B. Minors. C. Kasambahays. D. Homeworkers. E. Night workers. F. Apprentices and learners. G. Persons with disabilities. 1. Discrimination. A. Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, RA 7277. B. Mental Health Act, RA 11036. 2. Incentives for employers. Sexual harassment in the work environment. A. Sexual Harassment Act, RA 7877. B. SAFE Spaces Act, Article 4 of RA 11313 only, exclude. 5. Liability of employers. See Social Welfare Legislation 1. SSS Law, RA 8282, as amended by RA 11199. A. See Overage. B. Dependents and beneficiaries. C. Benefits 2. GSIS Law, RA 8291. A. Coverage. B. Dependents and beneficiaries. C. Benefits 3. Disability and death benefits. A. Labo RCODA. B. POA Standard Employment Contract. Page 3 of 5. D. Labor Relations 1. Right to self-organization. A. Coverage. B. Eligibility for membership. C. Doctrine of necessary implication. D. Commingling or mixed membership. E. Effect of incorporated illusion as members of employees outside of the bargaining unit. 2. Bargaining Unit 3. Bargaining Representative 4. Rights of labor organizations. A. Check-off, assessment, and agency fees. B. Collective bargaining. 1. Economic terms and conditions. 2. Non-economic terms and conditions. 3. Duty to bargain collectively. 4. Mandatory provisions in the collective bargaining agreement CBA. 5. Unfair labor practices. A. Nature and aspect. B. By employers. C. By organizations. 6. Peaceful concerted activities. A. Strikes, valid versus illegal. B. Picketing. C. Lockouts. D. Capital A. S. S. U. M. P. T. I. O. N. O. F. J. U. R. I. S. D. I. C. T. I. O. N. B. Y. T. H. E. D. E. Telecommuting Act, RA 11165, 1. Definition Sec 3, 2. Telecommuting Program, Sec 4, 3. Fair Treatment, Sec 5, 4. Post-employment, A. Employer-employee relationship. 1. Tests to determine employer-employee relationship. 2. Kinds of employment. A. Regular. B. CASO LC, Probation. D. Project. E. Seasonal. F. Fixed term. G. Floating status. 3. Legitimate subcontracting versus labor-only contracting. A. Elements. B. Trilateral relationship. C. Solidary liability. Page 4 of 5. B. Terminity on of employment. B. Employer. 1. Just causes. 2. Authorized causes. 3. DUE process. A. Twin notice requirement. B. Hearing. 4. Termination of contract of migrant workers under RA 8042 as amended by RA 10022. C. Capital T, E, R, M, I, N, A, T, I, O, N, O, F, E, M, P, L, O, Y, M, E, N, T, B, Y, E, M, P, L, O, 1. Resignation versus constructive dismissal. D. Preventive suspension. E. Reliefs from illegal dismissal. F. Retirement. V. Jurisdiction and rem dies. L. Laborarbeiter. 1. Jurisdiction of labor arbiter versus jurisdiction of regional director. 2. Requisites to perfect an appeal with the National Labor Relations Commission. 3. Reinstatement and or execution pending appeal. B. Capital N, A, T, I, O, N, A, L, L, A, B, O, R, R, E, L, A, T, I, O, N, S, C, O, M, M, I, S, S, I. C. Court of Appeals. D. Supreme Court. E. Bureau of Labor Relations. F. National Conciliation and Mediation Board. 1. Conciliation versus mediation. G. Dole Regional Directors. H. Dole Secretary. 1. Jurisdiction. 2. Visitorial and enforcement powers. 3. Power to suspend effects of termination. 4. Remedies. I. Voluntary arbitrator. J. Prescription of actions. 1. Money claims. 2. Illegal dismissal. 3. Unfair labor practices. 4. Offenses under the Labor Code. 5. Illegal recruitment. Nothing follows. Page 5 of 5. Syllabus for the 2023 bar examinations. Civil law, 20%. Note: all bar candidates should be GUI to DTADONLY laws, rules, ISUAN says, and jurisprudence pertinent to the TOPCs in this syllabus as of June 30, 2022 are examinable materials within TE coverage of the 2023 bar examinations. Persons and family relations. I. Persons. A. When laudicus effect doctrine. B. Ignorancy of the law. C. Retroactivity of laws. D. Mandatory or prohibitory laws. E. Waiver of rights. F. Presumption and applicability of custom. G. Legal periods. H. Territoriality principle. I. Conflict of laws. 1. Lex nationale. 2. Lex racic. 3. Lex loci celebrationis. 4. Doctrine of renvoi. J. Human relations in relation to persons. K. Capacity to act. 1. Restrictions on capacity to act. 2. Birth and death of natural person. S. 3. Presumption of survivorship. L. Surnames. M. Rules governing person S. who are absent. 2. Marriage. A. General principles. 1. Essential requisites. 2. Formal requisites. B. Capital M, I, X, E, D, M, A, R, R, I, A, G, E, S, A, N, D, F, O, R, E, I, G, N, D, I, V, O, R, C. C. Void marriages. Seaton and Elf. Andal, GR number 196359, May 11, 2021. Devoidable marriages. E. Effect of defective marriages. F. Foreign marriages. G. Legal separation. H. Capital P R O P E R T Y R E L A T I O N S B E T W E E N S P O U S E 1. Donation propter nuptias 2. Void donations by the spouses. Page 1 of 9. 3. Absolute community of property regime 4. Conjugal partnership of gains regime 5. Separation of property regime 6. Property regime of unions without marriage 7. Judicial separation of property. ITF Emil Y1. General principles. J. The family home 1. General principles. K. Paternity and filiation 1. Concept S of paternity, filiation, and legitimacy 2. Legitimity C. Children. A. Who are legitimate children. B. Proof of filiation of legitimate children. C. Rights of legitimate children. D. Grounds to impugn legitimacy 3. Illegitimate children. A. Who are illegitimate children. B. Proof of filiation of illegitimate children. C. Rights of illegitimate children. D. Grounds to impugn filiation 4. Legitimated children. A. Who may be legitimated. B. How legitimation ta occurs. C. Grounds to impugn legitimacy. 5. Adopted children. A. Domestic administrative adoption and alternative child care act, RA 11642. B. Who may adopt. C. Who may be adopted. D. Effects of a decree of adoption. See article numbers 189-190 of the Family Code. L. Support 1. What comprises support 2. Who are obliged to give support 3. Source of support 4. Order of support. M. Parental authority 1. Concept of parental authority 2. Substitute parental authority Y3. Special parental authority 4. Effects of parental authority. Property, ownership, and its modifications. I. Classification of property. A. Immovables. Page 2 of 9. B. Movables 2. Bundle of rights. A. Ownership. B. Rights of accession 1. General principles 2. Accession industrial 3. Accession natural. C. Capital A. C. T. I. O. N. S. T. O. R. E. C. O. V. E. R. O. W. N. E. R. S. H. I. P. A. N. D. P. O. 1. Accion Reivindicatoria 2. Accion Publiciana 3. Accion Interdictal 4. Quieting of title. D. Co-ownership 1. Distinctions between right to property owned in common and full ownership over the ideal share 2. Contributions for expenses 3. Redemption 4. Partition. E. Possession 1. Possession in the concept of a holder 2. Possession in the concept of an owner 3. Relevance of good faith and bad faith 4. Rules for movables. F. Usufruct. 1. Rights and obligations of usufructuary 2. Classes of usufruct 3. Extinguishment of the usufruct. G. Easements 1. Characteristics 2. Kinds of easements 3. Modes of acquiring easements 4. Effects of easement 5. Extinguishment of easements 3. Different modes of acquiring ownership. A. Occupation. B. Tradition. C. Donation 1. Feeder ease 2. Classifications 3. Distinctions between and mortis causatin inter vivos donations 4. Form 5. Limitations 6. Reduction and revocation. D. Prescription 1. Distinctions between acquisitive and extinctive prescription. Page 3 of 9. 2. Distinctions between extinctive prescription and laches. 4. Land titles and deeds. A. Torrens System 1. General principles. B. Regalian doctrine. C. Capital N. A. T. I. O. N. A. L. I. T. Y. R. E. S. T. R. I. C. T. I. O. N. S. O. N. L. A. N. D. O. D. Original registration PD 1529, 1. Who may apply to. Decree of registration 3. Review of decree of registration. Innocent purchaser for VALU, IPV, rights of IPVE and ACT improving the confirmation process for imperfect land titles, RA 11573, amending CA 141 and PD 1529, see Republic v. Pasig Rizal. Company, Incorporated, GR number 213207, February 15, 2022. F. Certificate of Title. G. Subsequent Registration 1. Volunteer Y. Dealings 2. Involuntary dealings. A. Adverse claims. B. Noticia flispendens. H. Non-registrable properties. I. Dealings with unregistered lands. J. Assurance Fund 1. Nature of Assurance Fund 2. Conditions for compensation from Assurance Fund 3. Prescriptive period. K. Reconstitution of title. V. Wills and succession. A. General provisions. B. Testamentary succession 1. General provisions 2. Characteristics of a will 3. Non-delegability of a testamentary power. 4. Applicable law as to form and substance of a will 5. Testamentary capacity 6. Form of notarial and holographic wills 7. Witnesses to a notarial will qualification and disqualifications 8. Conflict rules 9. Modes of revocation of wills and testamentary dispositions. A. Effect on the recognition of a non-marital child. B. Capital T, H, E, O, R, Y, O, F, D, E, P, E, N, D, E, N, T, R, E, L, A, T, I, V, E, R, E, V, O, C. C. Revocation based on a false cause 10. Heirs. A. Compulsory heirs. B. Institution of heirs. Page 4 of 9. 1. Capital L, I, M, I, T, A, T, I, O, N, S, O, N, T, H, E, I, N, S, T, I, T, U, T, I, O, N, O, F, H. 2. Collective institution. 3. Proscription against a successive institution. 4. Institution based on a false cause. C. Substitution of heirs. 1. Causes of substitution. 2. Fideicommissory substitution compared with testamentary trusts 11. Legitime. A. Collation and connection WFT co-imputation of legitime. B. Tabli of legitime. C. Impairment of the legitime. D. Presumptive illegitime 12. Praeteritio N.A. Recuizites. B. Governing Law 13. Conditional dispositions and dispositions. A. Condition not to marry. B. Disposition optatoria. C. Modal institution. 14. Void testamentary dispositions 15. Disinheritance. A. Grounds for disinheritance. B. Capital R, E, Q, U, I, S, I, T, E, S, F, O, R, T, H, E, V, A, R, I, O, U, S, G, R, O, U, N, D, S. C. Effects of reconciliation 16. Legacies and devises. A. Requisites for validity. B. Propertinatum ad bitha testator. C. Ineffective legacies devises. C. Intestatus succession 1. Relationship 2. Causes of intestacy 3. Order of intestate succession 4. Rule of proximity and rule of equality. A. Exceptions to the rule of proximity and rule of equality. 5. Determinatio n of h years 6. Success ional barrier, the Iron Curtain Rule. See Aquino v. Aquino, GR numbers 208,912 and 209,018, December 7, 2021, 7. Successional rights of adopted children 8. Successional rights of adopting parents, 9. Successional rights of marital and non-marital children 10. Successional rights of the surviving spouse 11. Successional rights of collateral relatives, D. Capital P, R, O, V, I, S, I, O, N, S, C, O, M, M, O, N, T, O, T, E, S, T, A, T, E, A, N, D, I, N. 1. Capacity to succeed. A. Incapacity by reason of unworthiness and effects of condemnation. B. Incapacity by reason of morality. Page 5 of 9. I. Obligations. C. Incapacity by reason of possible undue influence 2. Right of representation and testacy and intestacy. A. Requisites and limitations. 3. Right of accretion and testamentary succession and instacy. A. Requisites and limitations 4. Acceptance and repudiation of inheritance. A. Form of repudiation. B. Effects of repudiation compared to predecession. Incapacity. Obligations and contracts. A. General provisions 1. Definition. 2. Essential elements 3. Sources of obligation. B. Naturen defectis of obligation S1. B. Breaches of obligations. 2. Remedies for breach of obligation. C. Different kinds of obligations. D. Extinguishment of obligations 1. Payment. A. Concept of payment. B. Payment possessions. Dation employment. C. Tender of payment and consignation. 2. Loss of the thing due. A. Concept of loss. S. B. Requisites. C. Force majeure. 3. Condonation 4. Confusion 5. Compensation. A. Requisites. B. Compensation of assisted voidabilitats. C. Non-compensable debts. 6. Novation. A. Concept of novation. B. Expressed implied novation. 1. Requisites. C. Expromission and delegation distinguished. 1. Concentrically read. 2. FECT of insolvency of new debtor. D. Capital L, E, G, A, L, A, N, D, C, O, N, V, E, N, T, I, O, N, A, L, S, U, B, R, O, G, A, T, I, O. Page 6 of 9. 2. Contracts. A. General provisions. 1. Definite ion of a contract. 2. Elements of a contract. A. Essential elements. B. Natural elements. B. Basic principles of contracts. 1. Obligatory force of a contract. 2. Freedom to stipulate, autonomy of the will, and its limitations. 3. Binding effect of a contract. 4. Privat y of contract. A. Contract. B. Capital E, X, C, E, P, T, I, O, N, S, T, O, T, H, E, R, U, L, E, O, N, P, R, I, V, I, T, Y, O, F. 5. Consensuality of contracts. A. Concept and coverage. B. Exceptions. C. Reformation of instruments. C. Essential requisitus of a contract. 1. Consent. 2. Object. 3. Cause or consideration. D. Defective contracts. 1. Rescissable contracts. 2. Voidable contracts. 3. Unenforceable contracts. 4. Void contracts. 3. Natural obligations. ISLS. Special contracts. A. Capital D, E, F, I, N, I, T, I, O, N, A, N, D, E, S, S, E, N, T, I, A, L, R, E, Q, U, I, S, I, T. B. Contract of sale. 1. Contract to sell. 2. Option contract. 3. Right of first refusal. C. Earnest money. D. Double sales. E. Risk of loss. F. Breach of contract of sale. 1. Recto law. 2. Mac-Eda law. G. Extinguishment of sale. 1. Conventional redemption. 2. Legal redemption. H. Equitable mortgage. Page 7 of 9. I. Pacto de retro sales. 2. Lease. A. Kinsiflease. B. Rights and obligations software or C. Rights and obligations C. 3. Agency. 4. Credit transactions. A. Loans. 1. Kinds. 2. Interest. B. Deposit. C. Guarantee and suretyship. D. Mortgage. 1. Chattel mortgage. 2. Real estate mortgage. E. Pledge. F. Anticrisis. V. Compromise. V. Quasi-contasi tsa negatio rum gestio bs alati indebiti. 7. Torts and damages. A. Principles. 1. Abuse of rights. 2. Unjust enrichment. 3. Liability without fault. 4. Acts contrary to law. 5. Acts contrary to morals. B. Classification of torts. 1. Intentional. 2. Negligent. 3. Strict liability. C. Tortfeasor. 1. Joint. 2. Direct. D. Quasi delicts. Culpa contractuals. Culpa criminal. 1. Nature of liability. E. Proximate cause. 1. Concept. 2. Doctrine of last clear chance. Page 8 of 9. F. Vicarious liability. G. Resipsa loquitur. H. Damnum absquingeria. I. Defenses. J. Negligence. 1. Standard of care. 2. Presumptions of negligence. K. Damages. 1. Kinds of damages. A. Actual and compensatory damages. B. Moral damages. C. Nominal damages. D. Temporary or moderate damages. E. Liquidated damages. F. Exemplary or corrective damages. 2. When damages may be recovered. L. Damages in case of death. M. Duty of injured party. Nothing follows. Page 9 of 9. Syllabus for the 2023 BR Examinations Commercial and Taxation Laws. 20%. Note: all bar candidates should be guided that only laws, rules, issuances, and jurisprudence pertinent to the topics in this syllabus as of June 30, 2022 are examinable materials within the coverage of the 2023 bar examination's computations under taxation law shall be excluded from the coverage. Part 1 Commercial Law. I. Business organizations. A. Partnerships. 1. General provisions. A. Definition, elements, and characteristics. B. Rule determine existence. C. Partnership term. D. Partnership bs appel. E. Partnership as distinguished from joint venture. F. Professionia el partnership. G. Management. 2. Rights and obligations of partnership and partners. A. Rights and obligations of the partnership. B. Obligations of partners among themselves. C. Obligations of partnership partners to third persons. 3. Dissolution and winding up. 4. Limited partnership. B. Corporations. 1. Definition of corporation. 2. Classes of corporations. 3. Nationality of corporation. SA. Control test. B. Grandfather rule. 4. Corporate juridical entity. A. Doctrine of separate juridical personality. B. Capital D O C T R I N E O F P I E R C I N G T H E C O R P O R A T E. 5. Capital structure. A. Number and qualifications of incorporators. B. Subscription NTS. C. Corporate term. D. Classification of 6. Incorporation and organization. A. Promoter. 1. Liability of promoter. Page 1 of 13. 2. Liability of corporation for promoter's contracts. B. Subscription contract. C. Pre-incorporation subscription agreements. D. Consideration for stocks. E. Articles of incorporation. 1. Contents. 2. Non-amendable items. F. Corporate name and limitations on its use. G. Registration, incorporation, and company management of corporate existence. H. Election of directors or trustees. I. Adoption of bylaws. 1. Contents of bylaws. 2. Binding effects. 3. Amendments. J. Effects of non-use of corporate charter. 7. Corporate powers. A. General powers, theory of general capacity. B. Specific powers. Theory of specific capacity. C. Power to extend or shorten corporate term. D. Power to increase or decrease capital stock or create, increase bonded indebtedness. E. Power to deny preemptive rights. F. Power to sell or dispose corporate assets. G. Power to acquire own shares. H. Capital P O W E R T O I N V E S T C O R P O R A T E F U N D S I N A. Poration or business. I. Power to declare dividends. J. Power to enter into management contract. K. Doctrine of individuality of subscription. L. Doctrine of equality of shares. M. Ultra vires doctrine. N. Trust fund doctrine. 8. Stockholders and members. A. Fundamental rights of a stockholder. B. Participation in management. 1. Proxy. 2. Voting trust. 3. Cases when stockholders' action is required. 4. Manner of voting. C. Proprietary rights. 1. Rights to dividends. 2. Appraisal right. 3. Right to an SPECT. 4. Preemptive right. 5. Right to vote. 6. Regiht to dividends. D. Remedial rights. Page 2 of 13. 1. Individual suit. 2. Representative suit. 3. Derivative suit. E. Obligations of a stockholder. F. Meetings. 9. Board. A. Repository of corporate powers. B. Tenure, qualifications, capital A, N, D, D, I, S, Q, U, A, L, I, F, I, C, A, T, I, O, N, S, O, F, D, I, R, E, C, T, O, R. C. Requirement of independent directors. D. Elections. E. Removal. F. Filling of vacancies. G. Compensation. H. Disloyalty. I. Business judgment rule. J. Solidary liabilities for damages. K. Personal liabilities. L. Responsibility for crimes. M. Special fact doctrine. N. Incident formation. O. Contract TS. 1. By self D. Capital A. L. I. N. G. D. I. R. E. C. T. O. R. S. W. I. T. H. T. H. E. C. O. R. P. O. R. A. T. I. 2. Between corporations with interlocking directors. 10. Capit AL affairs. A. Certificate of stock. 1. Nature of the certificate. 2. Uncertificated shares. 3. Negotiability, requirements for valid transfer of stocks. 4. Issuance. 5. Stock and transfer book. 6. Situs of the shares of stock. B. Watered stocks. 1. Definition. 2. Liability of directors for watered stocks. 3. Trust fund doctrine for liability for watered stocks. C. Payment of balance of subscription. 1. Calby board of directors. 2. Notice requirement. D. Sally off delinquent shares. 1. Effect off delinquency. 2. Call by resolution of the Board of Directors. E. Alienation of shares. 1. Capital A, L, L, O, W, A, B, L, E, R, E, S, T, R, I, C, T, I, O, N, S, O, N, T, H, E, S, A, L, E. 2. Requisites of a valid transfer. F. Corporate books and records. 1. Right to inspect corporate records. 2. Effective refusal to inspect corporate records, or directors and trustees. Page 3 of 13, 11. Dissolution and liquidation. A. Modes of dissolution. 1. Voluntary dissolution. 2. Involuntary dissolution. B. Methods of liquidation. 1. By the corporation itself. 2. Conveyance to a trustee within a 3-year period. 3. By management committee or rehabilitation. Receiver. 4. Liquidation after 3 years. 12. Other corporations. A. Close C or Porations. 1. Chara C Tierist ICS. 2. Validity of restrictions on transfer of shares. 3. Preemptive right. 4. Amendment of articles of incorporation. B. Non-stock corporations. 1. Definition. 2. Treatment of profits. C. Educational corporations. D. Religious corporations. 1. Corporation sole. 2. Religious societies. E. One-person corporations. 1. Accepted corporations. 2. Capital stock requirement. 3. Articles of incorporation and bylaws. 4. Corporate name. 5. Corporate structure and officers. 6. Nominee. 7. Liability. 8. Conversion of C or Poration to one-person corporations and vice versa. F. Foreign corporations. 1. Capital B, A, S, E, S, O, F, A, U, T, H, O, R, I, T, Y, O, V, E, R, F, O, R, E, I, G, N, C, O, R, A. Consent. B. Doctrine of doing business. 2. Necessity of a license to do business. A resident agent. 3. Personality to sue. 4. Suability of foreign corporations. 5. Instances when unlicensed foreign corporations may be allowed to sue isolated transactions. 6. Grounds for revocation of license. 13. Merger and consolidation. A. Concept. B. Constituent corporations. Consolidated corporation. C. Plan of merger or consolidation. Page 4 of 13. 2. Banking laws. D. Articles of merger or consolidation. E. Effects. A. New Central Bank Actor. A. Number 7653, Assamanded Bir. A. Number 11211, 1. State policies. 2. Monetary Board and its powers and functions. 3. The Banco Central ng Pilipinas and banks in distress. A. Conservatorship. B. Closure. C. Receivership. D. Liquidation. B. General Banking Law of 2000, RA number 8791, 1. Definition and classification of banks. 2. Distinction of banks from quasi-banks and trust entities. 3. Nature of bank funds and bank deposits. 4. Diligence required of banks. 5. Prohibited transactions by bank directors and officers. 6. Stipulation on interests. See Secrecy of Bank Deposits. A number 1405, Assamanded, Ander. A number 6426, as amended. 1. Purpose. 2. Prohibited acts. 3. Deposits covered. 4. Exceptions from coverage. 5. Garnishment of deposits, including foreign deposits. D. Anti-money laundering. A CTRANO, 9160, Assamanded Buyer. A. No. 9194, 1016-7, 10365, 10927, and D. 11521, 1. Policy. 2. Covered institutions and their obligations. 3. Covered transactions. 4. Suspicious transactions. 5. Safe harbor provision. 6. Money laundering how committed, unlawful activities or predicate crimes. 7. Anti-money laundering council and its functions. 8. Authority to inquire into bank deposits. 9. Freezing of monetary instrument or property. 3. Insurance law. A. Basic concepts. 1. Elements of an insurance contract. 2. Characteristics nature of insurance contracts. 3. Classes of insurance. A. Marine. B. Fire. C. Casualty. Page 5 of 13. D. Suretyship. E. Life. F. Microinsurance e.g. com, capital U, L, S, O, R, Y, M, O, T, O, R, V, E, H, I, C, L, E, L, I, A, B, I, L, I, T, Y, I, N, S. H. Compulsory insurance coverage for Ragan CHIRDW workers 4. Insurable interest 5. Double insurance and overinsurance 6. No fault, suicide, and incontestability clause. B. Perfection of Turin sur honor praxi rights and obligations of parties 1. Insurer, 2. Insured 3. Beneficiary. D. Rescission of sur honor entrats 1. Concealment 2. Misrepresentation or omissions 3. Breach of warranties. 4. Transportatio and law. A. Common carriers. 1. Diligence required of common carriers. 2. Liabilities of common carriers. B. Vigilancy of arguties 1. Exempti in causes 2. Contributory negligence. 3. Duration of liability. A. Actual or constructive liability. B. Temporary unloading or storage 4. Stipulation for limitation of liability. A. Void stipulations. B. Capital L, I, M, I, T, A, T, I, O, N, O, F, L, I, A, B, I, L, I, T, Y, T, O, F, I, X, E, D, A, M. C. Limitation of liability in absence of declaration of G-Rater. Value 5. Liability for baggage of passengers. A. Check-hidden baggage. B. Hand-carried baggage. C. Safety of passengers 1. Void stipulations 2. Duration of liability. 3. Liability for acts of others. A. Employees. B. Other passengers and strangers. 4. Extent of liability for damages. D. Thementrial Convention of 1999 1. Applicability 2. Extent of liability of air carrier. A. Death or injury of passenger. Page 6 of 13. B. Lost or delayed baggage. V. Intellectual Property Code. RA No. 8293, note exclude implementing rules and regulations. A. Patents 1. Patentable inventions. A. Novelty. B. Inventive estate. C. Industrial applicability 2. Non-patentable inventions 3. Ownership of a patent. A. Right of a patent. B. First to file a ruler. C. Inventions created pursuant to a commission. D. Right of priority 4. Grounds for cancellation of a patent 5. Remedy of the true and actual inventor 6. Rights conferred by a patent 7. Limitations of patent rights. A. Prior user. B. Use of government 8. Patent infringement. A. Tests in patent infringement 1. Literal infringement. 2. Doctrine of equivalence. B. Capital D, E, F, E, N, S, E, S, I, N, A, C, T, I, O, N, F, O, R, I, N, F, R, I, N, G, E, M, E, N, 9. Licensing. A. Voluntary. B. Compulsory. 10. Assignment and transmission of rights. B. Trademarks 1. Marks versus collective marks versus trade names 2. Acquisition of ownership of mark 3. Acquisition of ownership of trade name 4. Non-registrable marks 5. Test to determine confusing similarity between marks. A. Dominancy test 6. Well-known marks 7. Rights conferred by registration 8. C. Cancellation of registration 9. T. Trademark infringement 10. Unfair competition. C. Copyright 1. Basic Principles Sec 172.2, 175, and 181 only 2. Copyrightable works. A. Original work SB, derivative UORKS. Page 7 of 13, 3. Non-copyrightable works 4. Rig HTS conferred by a copyright 5. Ownership of a copyright 6. Limitations on copyright 7. Doctrine of fair use 8. Copyright infringement. V. Electronic Commerce Act, RA number 8792. A. Legal recognition of electronic data messages, documents, and signatures. B. Presumption relating to electronic signatures. C. Admissibility and evidential way GHT of electronic data message or electronic document. D. Obligation of confidentiality 7. Foreign Investments Act, RA 7042, as amended by RA 11647. A. Policy of the Law Sec. 1, RA 11647. B. Definition of terms Sec. 2, RA 11647. 1. Foreign Investment 2. Doing Business 3. Export Enterprise 4. Domestic market enterprise. C. Registration of Investment of non-Philippine nationals Sec 6, RA 1164-7. D. Foreign investments in export enterprises, Sec. 7, RA 11647. E. Foreign investments in domestic market enterprises, SEC. 7, RA 7042. F. Foreign investment negative A list, Sec. 8, RA 11647, 8. Public Service Act Commonwealth Act No. CA. 146, as amended by RA 11659. A. Critical Infrastructure Sec. 2, E. RA 11659. B. Foreign State-Owned Enterprise Sec. 2, G. RA 11659. C. Public Services Public Utility Sec. 4, RA 11659. D. Unlawful Acts Sec. 9, RA 11659. E. Powers of the President to suspend or prohibit transaction or investment, Sec. 23, RA 11659. F. Investments by an entity controlled by or acting on behalf of the foreign government, or foreign state-owned enterprises, Sec. 24, RA 11659. G. Reciprocity Clause Sec. 25, RA 11659. Part 2 Taxation Law. I. General Principles. A. Capital P, O, W, E, R, O, F, T, A, X, A, T, I, O, N, A, S, D, I, S, T, I, N, G, U, I, S, H, E, D. Random eminent domain. B. Capital I, N, H, E, R, E, N, T, A, N, D, C, O, N, S, T, I, T, U, T, I, O, N, A, L, L, I, M, I, T. Page 8 of 13. C. Requisites of valid tax. D. Taxes distinguished from other forms of exactions. E. Kinds of taxes. F. Doctrines and taxation 1. Construction and interpretation of tax laws, rules, and regulations 2. Prospectivity of tax laws. 3. Imprescriptibility of taxes 4. Double taxation 5. Escape from taxation. A. Shifting of tax burden. B. Tax avoidance. C. Tax evasion. 6. Exemption from taxation 7. Equitable recoupment 8. Prohibition on compensation and set-off 9. Compromise and tax amnesty Y2. National taxation. A. Taxing authority 1. Jurisdiction, power, and functions of the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. A. Interpreting tax laws and deciding tax cases. B. Non-retroactivity of rulings 2. Rule-making authority of the Secretary of Finance. B. Income tax 1. Definition, nature, and general principles. A. Criteria in imposing Philippine income tax. B. Types of Philippine income taxes. C. Taxable period. D. Can soft taxpayers 2. Income. A. Definition and nature. B. When income is taxable. C. Tests in determining which ether income is earned for tax purposes. 1. Realization test. 2. Economic benefit test. Doctrine of proprietary interest. 3. Severance test. D. Tax-free exchanges. E. Situs of income taxation 3. Gross income. A. Definition. B. Capital C, O, N, C, E, P, T, O, F, I, N, C, O, M, E, F, R, O, M, W, H, A, T, E, V, E, R, S, O, U. C. Gross income versus net income versus taxable income. D. Sources of income is subject to tax. Page 9 of 13. 1. Compensation income. 2. Fringe benefits. 3. Professional income. 4. Income from business. 5. Income from dealings in property. 6. Passive investment income. 7. Annuities. Proceeds from LIFA insurance or other types of insurance. 8. Prizes and awards. 9. Pensions, retirement benefit or separation pay. 10. Income from any source. E. Exclusions. 1. Taxpayers who may avail. 2. Distinguished from deductions and tax credits. 4. Deductions from gross income. A. Concept as return of capital. B. Item as a deductions vs optional standard deduction. C. Items not deductible. 5. Income tax on individuals. Are resident citizens, non-resident citizens, and resident aliens. 1. Inclusions and exclusions for taxation on compensation income. 2. Taxation of business income from practice of profession. 3. Taxation of passive income. 4. Taxation of capital gains. 5. Capital asset versus ordinary asset. B. Income tax on non-resident aliens engaged in trade or business. C. Income tax on non-resident aliens not engaged in trade or business. D. Capital I, N, D, I, V, I, D, U, A, L, T, A, X, P, A, Y, E, R, S, E, X, E, M, P, T, F, R, O, M, I. 1. Senior citizens. 2. Minimum wage earners. 3. Exemptions granted under international agreements. 6. Income tax on corporations. A. Income tax on domestic corporations and de resident foreign C or corporations. 1. B. Ranch profit remittance. 2. Itemized deductions versus optional standard deductions. B. Income tax on non-resident foreign C corporations. C. Income tax on special corporations. D. Exemptions from tax on corporations. E. Period within which to file income tax return of individuals and corporations. Page 10 of 13. F. Substituted filing. G. Failure to fill returns. 7. Withholding tax ESA, concept. B. C. Redditableves. Withholding taxes. C. Value-added tax VAT. 1. Concept and elements of vatable transactions. 2. Impact and incidence of tax. 3. Distinity on principle and D. Cross-border doctrine. 4. Imposition of VAT on transfer of goods by tax-exempt persons. 5. Transactions deemed sale subject to VAT. 6. Zero-rated ND effectively zero-rated sales of goods or properties. 7. VAT-exempt transactions. 8. Input and output tax. 9. Tax refund or tax credit. 10. Filling of returns and payment. D. Capital T, A, X, R, E, M, E, D, I, E, S, U, N, D, E, R, T, H, E, N, A, T, I, O, N, A, L, I, N, T. 1. Assessment of internal revenue taxes. A. Procedural due process and tax assessments. B. Requi cetesifa valid assessment. C. Tax delinquency versus tax deficiency. D. Prescriptive period for assessment. 1. False returns versus fraudulent returns versus non-filing of returns. 2. Suspension of the running of statute of limitations. 2. Taxpayers' remedies. A. Protesting an assessment. 1. Period to fill a protest. 2. Submission of supporting documents. 3. Effect of failure to file protest. 4. Action of the commissioner on the protest filed. B. Compromising debitement of taxes. C. Recovery of tax erroneously or illegally collected. 3. Government remedies for collection of delinquent taxes. A. Requisites. B. Prescriptive periods. 4. Civil penalties. A. Delinquency interest and deficiency interest. B. Circa RGE. C. Compromise pena Lty. I2. Local taxation. A. Local government taxation. 1. General principles. 2. Nature and source of taxing power. Page 11 of 13. A. Grant of local taxing power under RTE Local Government Code. B. Authority to RESC RIBA penalties for tax violations. C. Authority to grant local tax exemptions. D. Withdrawal of exemptions. 3. Scope of taxing power. 4. Specific taxing power of local government units. 5. Common revenue raising powers. 6. Community tax. 7. Common limitations on the taxing powers of local government units. 8. Requirements for a valid tax ordinance. 9. Taxpayers' remedies. A. Protest. B. Refund. C. Action before the Secretary of Justice. 10. Assessment and collection of local taxes. A. Remedies of local government units. B. Prescriptive period. B. Real propertization. 1. Fundamental principles. 2. Nature. 3. Imposition. A. Power to levy. B. Exemption from rural property. 4. Appraisal and assessment. C. Lasses of real property. B. Assessment based on actual use. 5. Collection. A. Date of accrual. B. Periods to collect. C. Remedies of local government units. 6. Taxpayers' remedies. A. Contesting an assessment. 1. Payment under protest. Exceptions. B. Contesting evaluation of property. 1. Capital A, P, P, E, A, L, T, O, T, H, E, L, O, C, A, L, B, O, A, R, D, O, F, A, S, S, E, S, S, M. 2. Appeal to the Central Board of Assessment Appeals. 3. Effect of payment of taxes. C. Compromise of real property tax assessment. 4. Judicial remedies. A. Court of Tax Appeals CTA 1. Exclusive original and appellate jurisdiction over civil cases 2. Exclusive original and appellate jurisdiction over criminal cases. B. Procedures 1. Filing of an action for collection of taxes. Page 12 of 13. A. Internal revenue taxes. B. Local taxes 2. Civil cases. A. Who may appeal, mode of appeal, and effect of appeal. B. Suspension of authority on off tires. C. Injunction not available to restrain collection 3. Criminal cases. A. Institution and prosecution of criminal action. B. Capital I, N, S, T, I, T, U, T, I, O, N, O, F, C, I, V, I, L, A, C, T, I, O, N, I, N, C, R, I, M. C. Period to appeal for. Appeal to the CTA en banc. 5. Petition for review on certiorari to the SC. Nothing follows. Page 13 of 1-3. Syllabus for the 2023 bar examinations. Criminal law, 10%. Note: all bar candidates should be judged that only laws, rules, issuances, and jurisprudence pertinent to the topics in this syllabus as of June 30, 2022 are examinable materials within the coverage of the 2023 bar examinations. The computation of penalties, including its application under the indeterminate sentence law, shall be excluded from the coverage. Book I, Articles 199 of the Revised Penal Code RPC. A. General Principles 1. Mala in se and mala prohibita 2. Scope and characteristics. A. Generality. B. Territoriality. C. Prospectivity. 3. Pro reo principle. 4. Ex post facto law. 5. Interpretation of penal laws. 6. Retroactive effect of penal laws. B. Felonies. 1. Criminal liabilities and felonies. A. Classification S of felonies. B. Aberratio ictus, error in personae, and praeter, intentionem. C. Elements of criminal liability. D. Impossible crime. E. Stages of execution. F. Continuing crimes. G. Capital C O M P L E X C R I M E S A N D C O M P O S I T E C R I M E. 2. Circumstances affecting criminal liability. A. Justifying circumstances. B. Exempting circumstances. C. Mitigating circumstances. D. Aggravating circumstances. E. Alternative circumstances. F. Absolutary causes. 3. Persons liable and degree of participation. A. Principals, accomplices, and accessories. B. Conspiracy and proposal. C. Multiple offenses. Differences, rules, effects. 1. Recidivism. 2. Habituality, reiteration. 3. Quasi-recidivism. 4. Habitual delinquency. Page 1 of 4. D. Decree penalizing obstruction of apprehension and prosecution of criminal offenders. PD 1829. C. Penalties. 1. Imposable penalties include act prohibiting the imposition of death penalty in the Philippines RA 9346. 2. Classification. 3. Duration and effects. 4. Application. A. Subsidiary imprisonment. B. Indeterminata sentenza law ACTNO, 4103, as amended. 5. Graduation of penalties. 6. Accessory penalties. D. Execution on severe off sentence. 1. Threefold rule. 2. Probation law PD 968, as amended. 3. Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, RA 9344, as amended. 4. An act adjusting the amount or the value of property and damage on which a penalty is based and the fines imposed. Unter the Revised Penal Code RA 10951, 5. Communit y Service Act, RA 11362 and AM number 200614 SC. E. Extinction of criminal liability. 1. An act amending RDIC LA 29, 94, 97, 99 of the RPC, RA 10592. F. Civil liabilities in criminal cases. 2. Book 2, Articles 114-365 of the RPC, and related special laws. A. Crimes against national security and laws of nations, Arts 114-123, 1. Anti-piracy and anti-highway robbery PD 532. A. Definition of terms, Sec. 2. B. Punishables Sec. 4, 2. Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020, RA 11479, SEATA ruling in Kayehavi. Executive A. Secretary, Gr. No. 252578, et al. A. Punishable acts of terrorism Sex 412. B. Horrible Sex 3, L, N, M, 14. C. Surveillance of SUSPECTS and interception ANDR recording of communications Sec 16. D. Detention without judicial warrant Sec. 29. E. No torture or coercion in investigation and interrogation Sec. 33. B. Crimes against the fundamental laws of the state, Arts 124-133, 1. Anti-Torture Act of 2009, RA 9745, A. Acts of Torture, Sec. 4. B. Horror Libel Sec. 13. C. Crimes against Public Order Arts 134, 160, 1. Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act, RA 10, 591. D. Crimes against Public Interest Arts 161, 187. E. Crimes relative to opium and other prohibited drugs. Page 2 of 4, 1. Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, RA 9165, as amended by RA 10640, Section 21 of the Implementing Rules and Regulations, IR, only. F. Crimes Against Public Morals Arts 200-202, 1. Anti-Gambling Act, PD 1602, as amended by RA 9287. A. Definition of Terms, Sec. 2, RA 9287. B. Punishably Sec. 3, RA 9287. G. Crimes committed by public officers Art S. 203, 245, 1. Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, RA 3019, as amended. A. Definition of Terms, Sec. 2. B. Corrupt Practices of Public Officers Sec. 3. C. Prohibition on Private Individuals Sec. 4. D. Prohibition on ordaining relatives Sec. 5. E. Exceptions Sec. 14, 2. Anti-Plunder Act, RA 7080, as amended by RA 7659. A. Definition of Terms, Sec. 1, RA 7080. B. Definition of Crime of Plunder, Sec. 2, RA 7080 as amended by RA 7659. C. Sir IES in Combination D, Pattern 3. Prohibition of Child Marriage Law, RA 11596. A. Facilitation of child marriage by public officer Sec. 4. H. Crimes Against Persons Arts, 246, 266, 1. Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003, RA 9208, as amended by RA 11862. A. Acts of Trafficking in Persons, Sec. 4, RA 11862. B. Capital A, C, T, S, T, H, A, T, P, R, O, M, O, T, E, T, R, A, F, F, I, C, K, I, N, G, I, N, P, E, Sec. 5, RA 11862. C. Qualified Trafficking in Persons, Sec. 6, RA 11862, 2. Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, RA 9262. A. Definition of Terms, Sec. 3. B. Acts of Violence Against Women and Their Children, Sec. 5. C. Protection Orders, Sex. 8-16. D. Battered Women Syndrome is offense Sec. 26, 3. Anti-Child Pornography Act of 2009, RA 9775. A. Definition of Terms, Sec. 3. B. Unlawful or Prohibited Acts Sec. 4, 4. Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act, RA 7610, as amended. A. Definition of Terms, Sec. 3, RA 7610. B. Child Prostitution and Other Sexual Abuse, SEC 5, RA 7610, as amended by RA 11648. C. Attempt to commit child prostitution Sec. 6, RA 7610. D. Child trafficking Sec. 7, RA 7610, Asamanded Bear 11648. E. Attempt to commit child trafficking, Sec. 8, RA 7610. F. Obscene publication and indecent shows, Sec. 9, RA 7610, as amended by RA 11648. Page 3 of 4. G. Employment of children, Sec. 12, RA 7610 as amended by RA 9231, 5. Prohibition of child marriage law, RA 11596. A. Definition of terms, Sec. 3. B. Unlawful acts, Sec. 4. C. Public crimes, Sec. 5. 6. An act providing for stronger protection against rape and sexual exploitation and abuse, increasing the age for determining the commission of statutory rape, RA 11648. A. Amendment on rape, Sec. 1. B. Amendment on qualified seduction, Sec. 2. I. Crimes against personal liberty and security, Arts 267-292, 1. Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, RA 10175. A. Cybercrime offenses, Sec. 4. B. Other offenses, Sec. 5. J. Crimes against property, Articles 293-332, 1. Anti-fencing law, PD 1612. A. Fencing. 1. Definition, Sec. 2. Presumption of fencing, Sec. 5. B. Exception, 1. With clearance CR permissible, Sec. 6. K. Crimes against chastity, Arts 333-334, 336-346, 1. Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act of 2009, R 9995. A. Definition of terms, Sec. 3. B. Prohibited Act S. Sec. 4, 2. Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act, RA 7610, as amended. A. Child prostitution and other acts of abuse, Sec. 5. RA 7610, as amended by RA 1648, 1. Compare EP prosecution for acts of lasciviousness under Art 366, RPC, and RA 7610, as amended. L. Crimes against the civil status of persons, Arts 347, 352, M. Crimes against honor, Arts 353-364, 1. Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, RA 10175, A. Libel, Sec. 4, C. 4. N. Criminal Negligence Article 365, Nothing follows, page 4 of 4. Syllabus for the 2023 bar examinations. Remedial Law, Legal and Judicial Ethics with Practical Exercises 25%. Note: all bar candidates should be guided that only laws, rules, issuances, and jurisprudence pertinent to the topics in this syllabus as of June 30, 2022 are examinable materials within the coverage of the 2023 bar examinations. Part 1: Remedial Law. I. General Principles. A. Substantive laws. Remedial Law. B. Rulemaking power of the Supreme Court. C. Principally of judicial hierarchy. D. Doctrine of non-interference judicial stability. 2. Jurisdiction. A. Classification of jurisdiction. 1. Original versus appellate. 2. General versus SPECL. 3. Exclusive vs concurrent. B. Capital D O C T R I N E S O F H I E R A R C H Y O F C O U R T S A N. C. Capital J U R I S D I C T I O N O F V A R I O U S P H I L I P P I N. 1. Supreme Court. 2. Court of Appeals. 3. Court of Tax Appeals. 4. Sandiganbayan. 5. Regional Trial Courts. 6. Family Court. 7. Metropolitan Trial Courts, Municipal Trial Courts, Municipal Trial Courts in Cities, and Municipal Circuit Trial Courts. Republic Act No. RA. 11576, an act further expanding the jurisdiction of first-level courts. D. Aspects of jurisdiction. 1. Jurisdiction over the subject matter. 2. Jurisdiction over the parties. 3. Jurisdiction over the issues. 4. Jurisdiction over the res or the property in litigation. E. Jurisdiction versus exercise of jurisdiction. F. Jurisdiction versus venue. G. Jurisdiction over cases covered by barangay conciliation, and cases covered by the rules on expedited procedures in the first-level court's administrative matter, AM, number 0887 SC, as amended, approved on March 1, 2022. Page 1 of 9, 3. Civil Procedure AM. Number 191020 SC. A. General Provisions Rule 1. B. Consifaction 1. In Rem 2. In Personam 3. Causi in Rem. C. Causia Faction Rule 2. D. Partista Civil Actions Rule 3. E. Venue, Rule 4. F. Pleadings. 1. Kinds, Rule 6. 2. Parts of a pleading Rule 7. 3. Manner of making allegations, Rule 8. A. In general. B. Action or defensibus ad argument. C. Specific denial. D. Affirmative defenses. 4. Effect of failure to plead, Rule 9. 5. Amend ed in supplemental pleadings Rule 10. 6. When to file responsive pleadings Rule 11. G. Filingan Service Rule 13. 1. Rules on payment of docket fees, effect of non-payment. 2. Efficient use of paper rule, filing, AM number 1037 SC and AM number 1194 SC, as revised, approved on February 22, 2022. H. Summons Rule 14. 1. Nature and purpose of summons in relation to actions in personam, in rem, and causi in rem. 2. Who may serve summons. 3. Validity of summons and issuance of alias summons. 4. Personal service. 5. Substituted service. 6. Constructive service. 7. Extraterritorial service. 8. Proof of service. I motions Rule 15. 1. In general. 2. Non-litigious motions. 3. Litigious motions. 4. Prohibited motions. 5. Motion F or Bill of Particulars Rule 12. J. Dismissal of actions, Rule 17. 1. With prejudice versus without prejudice. 2. Dismissals which have an effect of an adjudication on the merits. K. Pretrial, Rule 18. 1. Nature and purpose. 2. Appearance of parties, effects of failure to appear. Page 2 of 9. 3. P. Retrial brief, effect of failure to file L. Intervention, Rule 19. M. Subpoena, Rule 21. N. Computation of Rule 22. O. Medesov Discovery 1. Depositions Rules 23 and 24. See People v. Sergio, GR number 240053, October 9, 2019. 2. Interrogatories to parties, Rule 25. 3. Admission by adverse party, Rule 26. 4. Production or inspection of documents or things, Rule 27. 5. Physical and mental examination of persons, Rule 28. 6. Refusal to comply with modes of discovery, Rule 29. P. Trial, Rule 30. 1. Schedule of trial. 2. Adjournments and postponements. 3. Requisites of motion to postpone trial for illness of party or counsel. Q. Consolidation or severance, Rule 31. R. Demurrer to evidence, Rule 33. 1. Grounds. 2. Effective order denying demurrer to evidence. S. Judgments and final orders. 1. Judgments on the pleadings, Rule 34. A. Grounds. B. Capital A, C, T, I, O, N, O, N, M, O, T, I, O, N, F, O, R, J, U, D, G, M, E, N, T, O, N, T, H, E, 2. Summary judgment. T.S. Rule 35. A. FCT of order denying a motion for summary judgment. T3. Rendition and entry of judgments and final orders, Rule 36. T. Post-judgment remedies. 1. Motion for new trial or reconsideration, Rule 37. A. Remedy against denial. B. Fresh period, Rule 2. Appeals. A. Nature of right to appeal. B. Capital J, U, D, G, M, E, N, T, S, A, N, D, F, I, N, A, L, O, R, D, E, R, S, S, U, B, J, E, C, T. C. Matters not appealable, available remedies. D. Doctrinia finality immutability of judgment. E. Modes of appeal, period, perfection, issues to be raised. 1. Appeal from municipal trial courts to regional trial courts, Rule 40. 2. Appeal from the regional trial courts, Rule 41. 3. Petition for review from the regional trial court. 2. The Court of Appeals, Rule 42. 4. Appeals from the Court of Tax Appeals, Civil Service Commission, and quasi-judicial agencies, Rule 43. 5. Appeals by certiorari to the Supreme Court, Rule 45. PAG 3 of 9. 6. Review of judgments or final orders of the Commission on Audit and Commission on Elections, Rule 64. 7. Dismissal, reinstatement, and withdrawal of appeal. 3. Petition for relief from judgment, Rule 38. 4. Annulment of judgment, Rule 47. 5. Collateral attack on judgments. U. Execution, satisfaction, and effect of judgments, Rule 39. 4. Provisional remedies. A. Enactor, purpose E, and jurisdictio novra provisional remerdois. B. Preliminary attachment Rule 57. C. Preliminary injunction Rule 58. D. Receivership Rule 59. E. Replevin Rule 60. V. Special civil actions. A. Jurisdiction and vernure. B. Interpleader Rule 62. C. Declaratory relief and similar remedies Rule 63. D. Certiorari, prohibition, and mandamus, Rule 65. 1. Definition and distinctions 2. Requisites, when, and where to file 3. Exceptions to filing of motion for reconsideration before filing. Petition. E quo warranto Rule 66. F. Expropriation, Rule 67. See also GUI Delines for expropriation proceedings of national government infrastructure projects, Sec 4, RA 8974, 1. 2 stages in every action for expropriation 2. Order of expropriation 3. Ascertainment of just compensation, 4. Rights of plaintiff upon judgment and payment. G. Foreclosure offer elested a mortgage, RA 68, 1. Judicial foreclosure 2. Extrajudicial foreclosure, Act No. 3135, as amended 3. The General Banking Law of 2000, Sec. 47, RA 8791. H. Partition Rule 69. I. Forcible entry and unlawful detainer, Rule 70, 1. Differentiated F. Ramachian Publiciana Anachian. Reivindicatoria. J. Contempt, Rule 71. V. Special proceedings and special writs. A. Settlement of stadioftis sed persons 1. Venue and process, Rule 73. Page 4 of 9, 2. Summary settlement of estates Rule 74, 3. Allowance or disallowance of wills, Rule 76, 4. Claims against the estate Rule 86, 5. Payment of the debts of the estate Rule 88, 6. Sales, mortgages, and other encumbrances of property of decedent, Rule 89, 7. Distribution and partition Rule 90. B. Guardianship, 1. Venue, Rule 92, 2. Appointment of guardians, Rule 93, 3. General powers and duties of guardians, Rule 96, 4. Termination of guardianship Rule 97. See writ of habeas corpus Rule 102, 1. Writ of habeas corpus in relation to custody of minors, AM number 030404 SC. D. Change of name Rule 103. E. Cancellation of correction of entries in the Civil Registry, Rule 108. F. Clerical Error Law, RA number 9048, as amended by RA 10172. G. Writ of Impero M number 07912 SC. H. Writ of habeas data M number 08116 SC. I. Rules of Procedure for Environmental Cases, AM No. 0968 SC1. Temporary Environmental Protection Order, TPO 2. Writ of Continuing Mandamus 3. Writ of Collicazon 7. Criminal Procedure. A. General Concepts 1. Criminal Jurisdiction. Concept and Requisites for Exercise, 2. When injunction may be filed. B. Prosecution of Offenses, Rule 110. CP Prosecution of Civil Action Rule 111. D. Preliminary Investigation Rule 112, 1. Executive versus Judicial Determination of Probable Cause. E. Arrest, Rule 113, 1. Arrest without warrant, when lawful 2. Requisites of a valid warrant of arrest 3. Determination of probable cause for issuance of warrant of arrest. F. Bail, Rule 114, 1. Nature 2. When a matter of right, exceptions, 3. When a matter of discretion. G. Arraignment and plea Rule 116, 1. Searching inquiry See People v. Pagel, GR number 241257, September 29, 2020, 2. Improvident plea H. Motion Taus Rule 117. Page 5 of 9, 1. Grounds 2. Double jeopardy 3. Provisional dismissal. I. Pre-trial, Rule 118, 1. Pre-trial agreement 2. Non-appearance during pre-trial 3. Pre-trial order. J. Trial, Rule 119, 1. Trial in absentia 2. Examination of witness for the prosecution See People v. Sergio. GR number 240053, October 9, 2019, 3. Requisites for discharge of accused to become a state witness 4. Effects of discharge of accused as state witness 5. Demurrer to evidence 6. Revised Guidelines on Continuous Trial, AM number 150610 SC. K. Judgmenti, Rule 12.0, 1. Promulgatio of Judgium Ent. L. New trial or reconsideration Rule 121. M. Appeal, Rule 122. N. Can seizure Rule 126. O, capital P, R, O, V, I, S, I, O, N, A, L, R, E, M, E, D, I, E, S, I, N, C, R, I, M, I, N, A, L, C. Rule 127. P. The Rule on Cybercrime Warrants Sectio N2 of AM. Number 171103 SCONLY. V3. Evidence, AM number 190815 SC. A. General Concepts 1. Proof versus Evidence 2. Burden of proof versus burden of evidence 3. Equipoise Rule. B. Admissibility of Evidence Rule 128. 1. Requisites for admissibility of evidence 2. Relevance of evidence in collateral matters 3. Multiple admissibility 4. Conditional admissibility 5. Curative admissibility 6. Direct and circumstantial evidence 7. Positive and negative evidence 8. Competent and credible evidence. See Judicial Notice and Judicial Admissions, Rule 129. D. Object, Real, Evidence, Rule 130, A1. Requisites, 2. Exclusionary Rules. E. Documentary Evidence, Rule 130, B1. Definition, 2. Original Document Rule 3. Secondary Evidence 4. Parole Evidence Rule. F. Testimonial Evidence, Rule E 130, C. Paja 60F9, 1. Qualifications of witnesses 2. Disqualifications of witnesses. A. Disqualification by reason of marriage. B. Disqualification by reason of privileged communications. Rule on third parties. C. Parental and filial privilege rule. D. Capital P, R, I, V, I, L, E, G, E, R, E, L, A, T, I, N, G, T, O, T, R, A, D, E, S, E, C, R, E, T, 3. Testimonial privilege 4. Admissions and deconfessions, 5. Previous conduct as evidence 6. Testimonial knowledge 7. Hearsay and exceptions to the hearsay rule 8. Opinion rule 9. Character evidence. G. Burden of proof and presumptions Rule 131. H. Presentation of evidence Rule 132. 1. Examination of witnesses. A. Rights and obligations of a witness. B. Leading and misleading questions. C. Impeachment of witnesses. 2. Authentication and proof of documents. A, B, C, D3. Offer A, B, C. Meaning of authentication. Classes of documents. Authentication of a private writing public documents as evidence, proof of official record. An objection. When to make an offer when to make an objection to ender of excluded evidence. I judicial affidavit rule, AM number 1288 SC. J. Weight and sufficiency of evidence, Rule 133. K. Rules on electronic evidence, AM number 017-01 SC. Part 2 Legal and J. Judicial ethics with practical exercises. I. Legal ethics. A. Practice of law. 1. Basic concepts. A. Definition of the practice of law. B. Practice of law is a privilege, not a right. C. Law is a profession, not a business or trade. 2. Qualifications for admission to the bar. Bar matter number 1153. 3. Continuing requirements for membership in the bar. 4. Appearance of non-lawyers. A. Law Student Practice Rule, Rule 138A, as amended by AM number 190324 SC. B. Non-lawyers in courts and or administrative tribunals. Page 7 of 9. C. Proceedings where lawyers are prohibited to appear as counsels. 5. Prohibited practice of non-lawyers in appearance without authority. 6. Public officials in the practice of law. A. Prohibitions and disqualifications of former government attorneys. B. Public officials who cannot practice e-law or can practice e-law with restrictions. 7. Law wires authorized to represent TTE government. 8. The lawyer's oath. B. Duties and responsibilities of a lawyer under the Code of Professional Responsibility. 1. To society. 2. To the legal profession. 3. To the courts. 4. To the clients. C. Suspension, disbarment, and discipline of lawyers. 1. Nature and characteristics of disciplinary actions against lawyers. 2. Grounds. 3. Proceedings. Rule 139B of the Rules of Court, as amended. D. Notarial Practicia M number 02813 SC, as amended. 1. Qualifications of a notary public. 2. Term of office of a notary public. 3. Powers and limitations. 4. Notarial register. 5. Jurisdiction of notary public and place of notarization. 6. Competent evidence of identity. 7. Sanctions. 2. Judicial ethics. A sources. 1. New Code of Judicial Conduct for the Philippine Judiciary. 2. Code of Judicial Conduct. B. Qualities. 1. Independence. 2. Integrity. 3. Impartiality. 4. Propriety. 5. Equality. 6. Competence and diligence. C. Capital D. I. S. Q. U. A. L. I. F. I. C. A. T. I. O. N. O. F. J. U. D. I. C. I. A. L. O. F. F. I. 1. Compulsory. 2. Voluntary. D. Discipline and administrative jurisdiction over members of the judiciary. Page 8 of 9. 1. Supreme Court. A. Impeachment. 2. Lower court judges and justices. A. Sanctions imposed by the Supreme Court on erring members of the judiciary. 3. Practical exercises. A. Demand letter. B. Capital D. E. E. D. O. F. S. A. L. E. O. F. R. E. A. L. P. R. O. P. E. R. T. Y. A. N. D. D. E. E. C. Contract to fleece. D. Special power of attorney. E. Verification and certificate of non-forum shopping. F. Judicial affidavit. G. Notarial certificates. 1. Jurat. 2. Acknowledgement. H. Motions. 1. Motion for summary judgment. 2. Motion to dismiss. 3. Motion to declare in default. I quit claims in labor cases. J. Information in criminal cases. Nothing follows. Page 9 of 9.